So, we've got a lot of new members now, and, I've shared bits and pieces of my personal story, but I haven't shared the full version with anybody but my wife and some of my close friends. It might be a little hard to hear this video because the wind is picking up, but I'm sitting here. See if you can see it. Sitting here at the grave. I haven't been here in a while. It's hard to come here. I want to come here more, but I freak out every time I think about coming. But so, I encourage people to tell their story, but other than saying it happened, I've not shared the full story. So I'm going to attempt to do that today. So this may be a long video, so I apologize in advance. When I was growing up, when we lived in Laud with my amazing stepdad, and my mom, she always had issues with drinking and depression and probably a lot more stuff that never got properly diagnosed, but she had attempted suicide 3 different times. Once I found her on the floor in the living room she had slit her wrists, and that was quite possibly one of the most terrifying things I'd ever seen. And I don't really want to talk about the other 2 times, but so it's something she had struggled with for a long time. She had a lot of issues, and I used to always just blame it on the drinking, but I think the drinking didn't help, but there were some other deep-seated issues that she just never got treated. And that's why I'm trying to focus a lot more on awareness and prevention, because mental health is a big factor in a lot of this kind of stuff. And I think that's what her problem was. She never was properly diagnosed with what she should have been diagnosed with. On June 19th of 2012, I forget the time, but we were in bed. We had just gotten our youngest, Violet, down for bed, and I got a text message from my uncle. And my uncle is a hilarious guy, and typically when he texts me, it's usually something funny. And I forget what the text message said, but it was not humorous. It was, I think it was, "Hey, I need you to call me. Can you call me?" Something like that. And it was instantly I knew something bad had happened. Of course, I had no idea what it would be, but so I stepped out of the bedroom into the hallway. The kids were all asleep, and Steph and I were still up, but I stepped out into the hallway, and he told me that my mom had been shot. We didn't know many details at that point, but I fell to the floor. I didn't know what to do. I was in complete shock. But instantly, while the reports we were getting was that she was shot, I knew right then, and I didn't know what to do. It was the most crushing thing I had ever felt. And so I got myself together the best I could and drove up to see, with the rest of the family in Busco, and we were all together, and everybody was accepting it the best they could, knowing that it wasn't that she was shot by somebody else, that, she had done it herself. But I will say this, her side of the family and I, we've always been, we all love each other, but we've always been kind of apart. We all have busy lives, but we really came together for that. And that was a positive thing that came from it. But, my aunts and my uncles really helped carry me through that. They kind of put me in a position to be in charge of things, which helped me. I do a lot better in stressful situations when I can take charge. And they were all very, very, very supportive. And, we got through it the best you can get through something like that. But, there's the biggest thing that, I still struggle with today, and I think we all struggle with, is the why. When I first got here today, and I wanted to sit and say, I love you, Mom, I miss you. But I could still, what's it been, 3 years now? My first question was why. I know she struggled, but I'm great at giving advice to people. I'm trying to get better with that, especially when it comes to the prevention and awareness parts. But I still don't have all the answers, guys. And I think a lot of the answers, don't exist. It's one thing I'm learning now, is that the answers don't really exist. I'm never going to know why. I'm never going to be able to answer that question. And I can give advice all I want on how to deal with it, but there's no, one set of answers that just makes sense. It's all just, the best advice that we can give everybody, is just to, focus on the happy times and, talk. Don't remain silent. I tried that. It sucked. But my brother also took his own life that same year. I'm going to save that for a separate video. I think I'll visit his grave and do a similar video. But, it was the same year, and I felt so guilty when it came to his, because I was so numb. I had just 6 months earlier lost my mom. I was just numb. Like I didn't mourn or feel fucked up from his for a long time afterwards. I was just so numb from my mom that there wasn't room in there for his, which, intensified the guilt. But I'll save the rest of that for another video. I will say this, despite all the stuff that, I went through growing up with my mom, and, her illnesses and her drinking, she did love me. She did teach me a lot of things that I still use today. And, despite all of her stuff that was wrong with her, she still tried. She went above and beyond many times. She loved my kids. My 3-year-old was born 2 weeks before she took her life. And, she got to hold my youngest daughter. And I cherish that video. It's awesome. It's got the light from the window was coming in. It looked really angelic. It was nice, but I do love her. I don't hate her for what she did. I went through that phase where I hated her. But I got over that. The why, it was never going to go away, but she was a good mom, with everything that she had to battle with through her life. She was still a good mom. So I could probably talk, but this is probably enough for me for today. So there's my story. I hope that you guys can share your stories. You don't have to do videos like I do. I just do videos because I think they're more personal. But, just share your stories, guys. Don't just let it sit. I promise you that's the worst thing you can do is stay silent. Not only for yourself, but for others. These videos, when I make them like this, they mess me up. They do. I've cried almost the whole time I've been here, but I know they help others because we're not alone. None of us should have to go through this shit, but we're not alone. So I love all of you guys. Your support lately has been amazing. You have no idea what that means to me and so many others. So let's keep this going for all the ones we've lost and all the ones I hope we can prevent. So again, I love you guys, and thanks for watching this now 11-minute video. I'll make more. See you guys later.